What is... I actually don't know if I did that one already. If I have, I'm going to do that again. Courage. I actually might have done that already. But maybe, I just have to remind myself what courage actually is. Because what courage is to me is to do the things that feel hard or basically impossible. It's like me imagining to be married with a woman or to live together and to actually be together and to stay together without always pushing each other out feels like it is incredibly impossible. Because I've never had that. So it takes courage to bring that about, to change the way that I have experienced life until now, and to make sure that the person I choose for that is actually a good one. Until now I've met some women and I thought, oh, that's the one, right? That's the one. But they actually never wanted to be it. Or they ran away or whatever. I'm an intense person. I have intense emotions. I have intense ideas. I'm impulsive, right? I know how to handle myself. And a lot of women have a problem with that. Because that means they cannot control me. And that scares them. Because if they cannot control me, then who says that person will ever be with me? Well, I kind of have the same problem, to be honest. Let's say you fall in love with a woman and you feel like you cannot control her, then how do you know that she's ever going to stay with you? And I think in relationships I often wanted to control. And that's then actually what this is about. It's called What is Control. It's also the courage to change, right? I mean, if I have courage, I do what I have to do and I trust that it's going to happen. And that means I can let go of control. Because if I'm trying to control everything, then I'm going to be incredibly anxious about making sure that it's going to happen. Whereas if I'm trying to do something from a place of trust, I just trust that it's going to happen, and I just do what I feel like. Now that's kind of a problem for me specifically, right? Because maybe I'm in a delicate position. Everybody's in a delicate position, but I can only talk for myself, right? So you want something, or you think you want something, because that something gave you a certain feeling. Now you can keep projecting that feeling onto the one thing that you thought you wanted, and you can keep looking for that thing, but it's not there, right? It's out of reach. You can't reach it. And the thing itself has a mind of its own, and its own ideas of where it wants to be, and so this thing says, I don't want to be with you. I don't even want to talk with you anymore. And so you can, keep sitting at home and think, I want that thing so badly because, it rejected me probably, right? And now I want to have it because, it said no to me, so now I really want to have it. But that just keeps you trapped. Because then you're trying to control a thing that clearly doesn't have any interest in you. And if that thing is playing games because it wants to make you chase it, well then that's that thing's problem, right? It's not my problem then. But it's going to be my problem if I keep chasing it. Because that thing never wants to be with me, right? I mean, you understand where I'm coming from? I mean, that thing never wants to be with me. And I'm chasing it. And that thing is going to keep running away. And I'm going to get more frustrated and more frustrated and more frustrated. You know, that's control. It's going to tear you apart. So you're trying to control the whole state, right? So how do they control us? With fear. They control us by manipulating us into creating a worldview that is really scary, so that everybody is so grateful for having the state, right, as like a father figure to keep us safe from this really dangerous world. But then the problem comes, you know, they don't trust us. You know, they don't trust that we actually trust them, which we don't really. So they need the police. Right? So the police is like, you know, it's going to keep us safe, but it's also going to keep them safe because they're the ones controlling the police. Because they're the ones that are afraid of us throwing like a giant tantrum and smashing everything to bits, you know, because they want to control the whole system so that it remains the way it is because they've worked hard to be in the position that they are in, which is a position of power. And so if you want to control someone, right, there's always a lot of anxiety involved. You know, you're always going to be afraid that this someone or this thing you're trying to control, you know, is going to stab you in the back. So the other way of dealing with life is with courage, and that's like probably stemming from a place of trust. So I've realized throughout my life that maybe that's more something for the stories of my life. Yeah, that's an interesting proposal. We'll see about that. Yeah, you see, I really don't know what I'm doing anymore. Because, you know, that's now the point maybe I'm trying to get to. Because I really thought, you know, I'm going to produce a lot of content here on YouTube. I'm going to make a lot of music. I'm going to write a lot of books. I'm going to make like hundreds of posts on Instagram. I'm going to write dozens of articles on Medium. And I really thought at one point, and I thought, you know, I'm going to sell my art as NFTs because, you know, some people told me that's like the thing at the moment to make money with. And so I'm really anxious to earn money quickly because I feel like that's going to give me a lot of freedom. But now the issue is that in itself is already a trap. Because I'm actually taking what I love and I'm corrupting it with greed, right? So I actually want to produce content, but now I'm dependent on producing content because I think it's going to get me money. But what producing content or being creative actually does for me is that I like it. You know, I just like it. And so I was now in a position where I realized, you know, for whatever reason, apparently I seem to be the only one that enjoys what I'm doing or that understands what I'm doing. Because everybody else, you know, they're just like scrapping the surface of what I'm doing. You know, nobody really spends a lot of time with it. And, you know, I've said it already, but I've been doing this for 2 years. I just have to get that off my chest. I mean, for 2 years, I've been just like shouting my lungs out with my content. Because I wanted to be recognized, right? I wanted to be heard. I wanted to be seen. But nobody hears me. And nobody sees me. You know, people have like a vague interest. You know, where everything they do, you know, it's just like, all they take from my content is like 20 seconds. And there's like hours of material of the way I see the world and how I perceive it and, you know, how I deal with it. There's a lot of insights hidden. So I know what I'm doing is actually good, but I also realize that people are, I don't know. Like maybe it's just not me who's supposed to deliver the message. But then I think, why not, right? Why can it not be me? That's yeah, it might be. And surely if you keep going, at one point, something's gonna come out of it. But who knows, right? Maybe it's gonna take 50 years. And until now, I've really tried to control this. I've tried to control becoming some kind of spokesperson, that can sit in front of an audience and talk about his experiences like Terence McKenna. I really wanted to be that. Because I also have the feeling, I can be that. But if I want to be that, then I'm going to cling to it, and then it's going to make me really anxious, and then I'm going to try to control it. And then I'm going to get angry, more and more angry, because people don't, start enjoying my content. That's the problem with the internet. It's so fast-paced. I don't know how Terence McKenna did it. I don't know how he did it. I don't know, right? How did he get people to listen to him? Where did he go to? I don't know. It's really difficult for me to figure that out because, I don't know anybody who I can go to and talk to about these things because I have a lot of ideas and I know a lot of things, but nobody wants to hear it. Like they don't want to take the time to spend time with the stuff that I figured out. During hours of contemplation and suffering, but like conscious suffering, right? To understand what you're suffering about. Anyway, so in itself, what I'm trying to do is, of course, an act of courage, but I just don't see any results. And if you wake up day after day after day after day after day after day after day, and the weeks and the months are all like coming and going, and every day you wake up, it's just like a bit more, Oh yeah, today I got one more subscriber. And that guy still doesn't really watch or enjoy my content. So what are they following me for? Even the videos that have 500 views, people just click on it. It's just that. It's a view. It's not, a view doesn't mean they watch the whole thing. A view means, they spend 5 seconds on that thing. That's all you have to do to get one view on YouTube. And on Instagram, you have no idea how many people look at your stuff, unless they like it. And so, you do get a little bit of feedback, but it's also, it's really frustrating. And I've realized now, that I'm just literally excluding myself from life, and I'm ripping everything I have out, all the emotions. I'm really digging deeply into all the shit that I have inside of me to make something out of it that seems beautiful. And it brings me to so many places, so much anger is coming out. And sure, making this content is helping me to deal with that. But on the other hand, making this content and seeing such little results also makes me really angry. Because just nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. And then you see these people who have been doing YouTube for a while and, all they have is 500 subscribers. It's okay. But it's not enough to make a living out of it. So I also had to start to make bold and courageous decisions. Because I realized whatever the internet is, and whatever creating content is, I cannot control this. And if I keep spending time alone at home to produce content, I also don't meet any people, you know? Because if I'm really who I say I am, and if I go out amongst people and they see me and they get to know me and then they ask me, hey, what are you doing? And then you say, well, I'm a content creator or whatever. I'm on YouTube. Oh, yeah, I'm going to check that out. But if I just stay at home all day, nothing's going to happen. So I feel like what I really want to do, I want to go out more. Because I've already created so much content. I mean, my podcast's running and all that kind of stuff. So do I really have to stay here all this time and produce content? To live for the people who actually don't give a shit? So I decided I'm just going to apply for a job. And I'm just going to see what's going to happen. And there's like this voice inside of my head that says, don't do it. But to me at the moment, it's like the craziest thing I could do. Because it's going to take me away from this spiral of hell that I find myself in. Where I'm just producing content like the people that do jobs that I never wanted to do. And now producing content has become that. It's just my dead-end job. That's what producing content at the moment is. And that's the thing, if you want to have a passive income, then let it be that, a passive income. Because I've already put out the work. Now it's for people to decide if what I've done is good. And if they can listen to it. Because I've already done it. I've already heard all these things because I'm the one saying it, right? This is coming out of me. I can talk for hours about all kinds of things. And I don't have to read a book for that. And I don't have to listen to anybody, If somebody asks me a question, I can elaborate on that. Because I have a lot of experience and a lot of insight. If you want to call that wisdom, I don't know what it is. I just know that I can talk about stuff. And I can shine light on things. And so I also had to realize, I have to shine light on my own life now. And I think I have to go out there and do something that makes me feel alive. I want to be outside. So I need a job that keeps me away from the laptop. Because if I just stand behind the laptop all day, I'm just going to watch porn all the time. Because standing behind a laptop is just so frustrating, it's incredible. And sitting here and thinking, that there is somebody waiting for me out there. That person that probably loves me really much, but also never contacts me. What does that mean? I can sit here and wait for that person to come for me. Or I can just look for somebody who's there right now. That sounds like an easy escape, but at the moment, I think that's really what I need. I just need to get away from this hell. This idea that I have to be somebody really great or, that I have to be this role model. I'm also a person with feelings, right? And even if I said once, I'm gonna love this woman, I can still love her. I can still be with other women. It's really hard to understand these kind of things. Because I've never been in a situation where I truly loved a woman. Like this, that it really hurts. But at the same time, I also realize this person doesn't do me any good. Because I literally have no trust for her. And the more I seclude myself from myself by denying myself maybe having sex with a woman or something, I feel like I'm just gonna get more and more angry. And while I wanted to get closer to love, trying to love this woman is just going to make me hate her. And that's going to keep me in a state of frustration and hatred. And that doesn't really help me at all. I mean, I'm really angry that I've been cheated once more. I wanted to love again, and it didn't work. It's not just, my fault or her fault. It's just like, that's just how it is. So to go out there and see what's going to happen, what's around the next corner, that takes a lot of courage. For me. And I cannot help it that, a part of me thinks, maybe I'm going to talk about this and she's going to hear it. But, at one point, you just have to say to yourself, stop it, man. She was phony. She was just another one of these unloved little girls, that said they wanted to love you, but then they just never talk to you again. And it's my problem that I keep listening to those people's insane words because they're literally crazy. They are crazy. Like, that is insanity. They say something, but they do something completely different. And so I feel like I just have no choice. And I just have to do what I want to do. Because otherwise, I'm becoming somebody's bitch. Because I'm doing whatever. I don't really know. So anyway, to make any choice at all probably takes a lot of courage. But I just realized, I'm in a bad place. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. I have to have my own space. I have to have my own space where I can, I don't know, invite people or not invite people or just be alone and create things. Yeah, and for that I realized I need money. And since this stuff here doesn't seem to produce any money, I have to get it from somewhere else so that I can keep being productive without being afraid that I'm gonna lose my laptop or whatever. I need money to be able to keep doing what I'm doing. And I need to get out of this place because it's suffocating me. It's really suffocating me. I just want to smash it to bits. And that's it.